Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Rumble is going, YouTube is going. Twitter is going, Twitch is going, looks like everything's going online. Activate the live chat window, start on the macros. And looks like everything's good to go. Give me a moment to check out the computer. And looks like everything is good to go. Got a window above my OBS over here. Minimize that. Now everything's good to go. So let's go and get started. I do have a replay submitted to me, but let's go ahead and warm on up with a replay. I haven't done versus Brits in a while. Seems reasonable enough. I don't think the last time I did an OKW versus Brits in a 1v1. Greetings everyone, and Grade here. Another Company Heroes 2 replay. Small on bottom left side as the blue Okta player, we have Vanille Grenadier. Spawn top right side as the red UKF forces. Got Alex 228. We have immediate Dr. Lock-in. Got the Lend-Lease Assault Regiment going for some sappers immediately. Probably into some assault sections afterwards. Howdy. Shield Pioneers get to this point here. The OKW player could eye for Overwatch Doctrine, Elite Armor Doctrine, or Luftwaffe Ground Forces. Looks like the staple doctrines for both sides. Kugelwagen now deployed in the field. Volksgrenadiers on the build queue as well. Assault section deployed on the field. This map is a bit more a ranged map, so the close range squads may have a bit more trouble. Going for sandbags. Of course, this point's non-supply just yet. I should have captured at this point first and then built sandbags. So the fuel point is captured but still in non-supply, so the British player is a bit behind on income at this moment. Volksgrenadiers on the field do have more sandbags here. Goes for another assault section now. And we do have Dr. Lock-in, Luftwaffe Ground Forces. Kugelwagen does take deal a little bit of damage to the Volksgren or infantry section. Volksgrenadiers moving some sandbags to the center. And assault section push way forward. May I do this light cover there. Or maybe right here. Here could also work. Shroom Pioneers engage the sappers. Kugelwagen takes a bit of damage there, but starting to fall back now. Shroom Pioneers way over here for said repairs. Building the sandbags once again. Volksgrenadiers rotating around. Needs to hit that assault section. Got a line of sight blocker here. Kugelwagen firing some damage there. He's going to be pushing here, which could allow the Kugelwagen to get some damage on in. These Volksgrenadiers may actually not be flanking. Needs to get over here to get more flanking shots. But with the focus fire there, the assault section does fall back. Does decapture this point. Shroom Pioneers to advance. Could get behind the wheelbarrow. Or is that a handcart? Nope, it's a stump. Could have stumped me. Assault section straight forward. Shun Pioneers coursing a good mid-range damage, not providing close-range damage right now. So Shun Pioneers should do very well at this range. Now hitting this guy here. Sort of splitting fire across both squads. So you probably lose out, but his opponent will have trouble with future engagements. Intersection does fall back there. Now our Shun Pioneer still sticking around, falls back. Got a SW's half track here, so a bit far away from Battle Group HQ. Maybe some medical supplies being in order for the Kugelwagen. Kugelwagen may want to fall back. Volkswagen is pretty forward. The squad's wounded enough with the Kugelwagen here for fire support. He's trying to use this as bait. Does force him back there. Medics on the build queue for the Brit. And this needs to fall back. It's very wounded. I guess will watch. I don't know what you mean by will chase. Do now have the SW's half track now being built. Need some medical supplies. I repair this up, fall back to medics. He needs medics immediately. The Shun Pioneer is basically dead in the water, or become very dead in the water without medics. Assault squads like these assault sections, as well as the Shun Pioneer, require to be at full health at the start of combat. Volkswagen is firing away. And does fall back there, just simply getting overran by everything. Kugelwagen has been paired on up. Shun Pioneers.
The command vehicle has converted to a static building.
Intersection heading down south, going to the VP now. We do have almost enough command points for the various abilities here. He has 3 Volkswageners, 1 Shun Pioneer. He could go for some squad of Fallschirmjägers. Doesn't really need it at the moment. He sees the assault sections. Medics now being employed on the field. Assault section heading to the fuel point. Volkswageners rotating around. Shun Pioneers in reserve. Not healed on up. Let's spot the squad here. Shun Pioneers gotta be very careful. Just stick to this light cover. Have them just do long range DPS. Another Volkswagen is pretty forward, firing away against the assault section. This Shun Pioneer is slowly being picked apart by the Kugelwagen as well. Both of those squads now falling back. Shun Pioneers could try pursuing the retreat point path, but likely not really. Fallschirmjägers now dropping on in. Where exactly, I'm not so sure. Right here next to this Volksgrenadiers, we'll spot the assault officer. He does have immediate access to a bundle grenade along with all the other stuff here. Way too much for that officer. This is a cutoff sector, so he's denying income to the fuel sector as well as the secured munitions sector. Way too much firepower here for those squads to contend with. And they immediately withdraw. Then we're going to take some damage on the retreat. The British players just spent some Gascon 5-man squad upgrade, which only has a 1 infantry section and 1 sapper, so it's not that useful at the moment.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Rogue charge on the assault section. Another squad of Fallschirmjägers being summoned. Now you're going a little bit too heavy in infantry. Does fall back nice and early there. Hopefully his medics at home. These British forces getting a little bit focused down. Good game and bomb. Displace these units. Of course, they're going to just turn around and start firing. Over here, these guys capturing the mission sector. Got these forces pushing over the left.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
Assault sections push way forward, getting some damage on that Volk's Grenadiers. And now got the Sapper falling back. Pulse could get ripped apart here. And do now have a half-track deployed in the field by the British player. Shumpine is still advancing, even less health now. Half-track advancing, could go for some mounted play. He's going for a quad half-track, he can still mount up. Howdy. Well, welcome to the stream. Officers, can't speak right now. Assault section does fall back. Quad half track deployed in the field. Of course, these guys do not have a Panzerfaust. Howdy. Over here, we do have now the Assault section. Shun Pioneers may drop a model or two. If those guys are severely wounded, we do have medics at home. At least a home away from home. We do now the quad half track and the Assault section push way forward. Volk's Grenadiers could get Panzerfaust off. He is definitely within range of the Panzerfaust now. Does juke him out of cover though. Kind of work for a course deployed in the field. Advancing, approaching now. May get a good angle on this direction here. Of course, oops. We got a bit of foliage here that he's having trouble with. Going to point blank range is not good. Intersection here. No grenades. Good point blank shot. And melee withdrawals there. Probably should have been a move towards this direction. So once he gets angle, he gotta take some shots out, a little bit more safer range. Panzerfaust or Fallschirmjägers gets good damage. That Gambon thrown, no white phosphorus. Some extra spicy air. I don't know if it actually provides command point income. I don't remember if it does, because upgrades do not provide the increase income here. You have to apply a EXP modifier, which does exist for the lieutenant and captain upgrades. I don't know if it actually does it for the Brits, or maybe not at least the versions later in the game. A later patch version that's available in the mod pools. And even then, assuming the experience is equivalent to how buildings calculate, it would not even be 200 experience, so it wouldn't be even a fifth of command point, because how the experience is totaled for when you build a structure is that you get 1 experience per resource spent. Same thing as way of when you kill off a unit, infantry unit. Each model drops as amount of experience equal to its equivalent manpower. And it takes about slightly over 1,000 experience to get 1 command point.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us. Supplies looking a bit squiffy. Line's been cut.
Also, is now falling back. Almost gets wiped out. Volkswagen's behind some cover. Panzerfaust firing. Connects. The Kenworth are rotating around. Probably will not be able to secure the half track. Volkswagen, single squad Volkswagen is straightforward. There's a bit more than one squad here to stop them though. What else can you do? Build ammo caches, fuel caches at this map? Pretty much yes. Going for your structures, upgrade, because the structure complete here does provide experience. Even though it's casted by upgrade, the structure itself is through a self-construction action, which that still provides experience. Caches, I believe, will provide it. Actually, I think landmines as well, but I actually don't know off the top of my head. And of course, the killing and dying also gives experience. If Mechanical Warfare takes some hits there, a double hits there. Mechanical Warfare does not get another shot off, does get decrewed there.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points. We're losing a capture point.
And strange enough, building a cache, which each one's 250 manpower, so should get 250 experience, will generate more experience than going for the 5-man squad upgrade, because he only has 2 squads for 5-man, and could have gone for some fuel and munitions caches. But I'm not sure in general why he went for the 5-man squad upgrade.
Six-pounder anti-tank gun finished.
6-pounder now deployed in the field. SWS half track on the field, or being queued to the field. He has enough fuel for a shoe transporters.
Points remaining.
Looks like he did. Sorry, I sort of missed that. Right now I'm getting hit by after work drowsiness I usually get struck by. So I'm not 100% at the moment. That's why I usually need a warm up before a cast or replay that people submitting to me. Volkswagen and Mechanical Warfare, or not Mechanical Warfare, Mechanical Warfare is firing away, full Shoemaker's firing away, hitting that officer. Also artillery on in, but seeing how the guns still probably need to rotate over here. Yep, does run a little bit far.
Point is being overrun. One of our anti-tank guns is gone.
Possibly. Not sure if that's really compatible when inspecting live games. So I probably can't really use it. Grenade's been thrown there. Good game or bundle grenade there. We do have Valiant Assault now activated. A very powerful ability, though generally overshadowed by the airborne assault. Starting to salvage 6-pounder, maybe gonna get just a capture it, honestly, but salvage it, of course, will give him some resources.
Supply line's been cut.
Does salvage it. Bombardiers force back the machine gun. Centaur a tank now in the build queue. Ship Panzer support is built. Panzer authorization has been authorized. He has enough fuel for a Panzer IV or for Jagdpanzer. He, at the current rate, he may be just saving up for a Panther, or is not paying close enough attention to his resources. Volkswagen is now falling back. Can't work because a good shot down the quad half track. Next shot may take it out. Looks like it's out of range. First strike on the Jaegers. Quad half track goes down, which he does actually need it for, since he finds his split off. And he could bring in to help shoot down the JU-7s. He's going straight for the King Tiger. He does have the mechanized HQ, so maybe. Ugh, I am out of it today. Volkswagen falling back. Going straight for the King Tiger is a little bit iffy, and he'll soon find out he's fighting against the Centaur, but he's doing a good job against all the infantry. He only has 2 squads of infantry in the field. Maybe in the meantime go for a second Vikenworth to deal with the Centaur, then go for the King Tiger. He did take out a 6-pounder, so he's in a decent position right now to go straight for the King Tiger. So yeah, seeing the Centaur, he definitely should go for a second Vikenworth. Nope, there's a Shroom Pioneer. Could possibly get wiped out here. Centaur not pursuing any further. Up to 208 fuel. About what, another 2-3 minutes worth of fuel to get out a King Tiger. Ocean is heading down south, engaging the sapper. Gets a good shot there on the Centaur. Centaur does take another hit there. One of the Volksgrenadiers do fall back. The other one's push way forward.
We're losing a capture point.
Vickers firing away, hitting the Volksgrenadiers. Jaegers are advancing.
The capture point is being overrun.
And it looks like the Vickers does fall back in time.
The enemy cut our supply line.
Up, heroic charge on the assault section.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one.
Panthers are almost entirely anti-vehicle, which he's only fighting against single Centaur. I don't think a Panther would be a good idea. Right now, maybe meant Panzer IV.
Trying to take a point from us.
And do now the Vikenworth are falling back, Volkswagen firing away. Well, the King Tiger does have decent range. But the Panther is almost entirely anti-vehicle. You cannot really use it against infantry. So I'm thinking you must be referring to the Panzer IV, not Panther. Volksgrenadiers take a bit of damage there. Do have now the Volksgrenadiers heading down south. We'll find the Centaur. Another Valiant Assault is activated. King Tiger deployed in the field. Bolsheviks ripping apart the 6-pounder. Got these guys falling back. Volksgrenadiers firing away. Yep, he currently does have the 1 AT gun, though does get another one in the field. Centaur straight forward. King Tiger advancing. The Vikenworth sitting on up. Almost gets into the Centaur. Base destruction? Annihilation's a rare thing to see. It's, you really don't try to go for annihilation victories. King Tiger destroys the AT gun. You have this assault section falling back. The AT gun does destroy the AT gun carcass. King Tiger has plenty of health to work with. Right now, against the Kidium for the AT guns, you could go for Stukas. Right now, the British player probably should eye for a Firefly. Going landmines, not a bad idea. Ocean makers push forward, we'll find the Centaur. Kenworth gets good hit there onto the Centaur. Rolls a miss there. Received a bounce here from the 6-pounder. Great hit there on the officer. More artillery rating on in. AT gun getting overran. Kidac's just going back on off. Another Valiant Assault Level 6 activated there. And, oh, wait, that was not officer artillery. That was hold the line. I misread that entirely. Not hold the line, strafe support. Mechanical is hitting that AT gun. AT gun does not go down there. Volkswagen is on the flank. Kuhwagen gets destroyed by a 6-pounder slug. Volkswagen is straight forward. You have the intersection down to 2 members there. King Tiger has plenty of help to work with. One aircraft gets shot down by the Shiro Panzer quarters.
Squad knocked out.
If a British player deploys out Bofors after the MGs go down, something gone very wrong. If a base MG goes down, you just generally have to ignore it. Firefly now on the build queue. Probably needs to go for a pair of tulips onto the Firefly and make it extra Dutch.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it. Enemy causing trouble.
Ocean Makers do hold fire, but Kenworth gets a miss there. Does get a first strike shot there on the assault section. King Tiger fully repaired. Can probably push forward away from the mechanized HQ. Ocean Makers engage these forces. That assault section did get ripped apart entirely there, and dropping and taking some losses here as well. Ocean Makers pretty forward. They do spot the AT gun, so they could start engaging it while the King Tiger advances. Firefly on the field, getting the Dutch upgrade and the tank commander. Oh, landmine here.
Upgrade work completed.
Gets a pen there.
One of our anti-tank guns is gone.
Bugger's got us marks.
A new engineer section.
Can work
waiting for
straight
orders.
forward. He has 2 Volkswagens, 3 Volkswageners. He does not need Obstats at the moment. He has plenty of infantry on the field. He should save his what little manpower he has for another armed asset, would be a Panzer IV or a Stukas at this point. He's good his Tulips now being summoned. King Tiger gets struck twice. Centaur goes down. Of course, got a bit of carcass there, which means smoke. Can work straight forward. Right now, an MG34 would be better than Oberstwaffen to help him lock down flanks. Sappers going down. The British probably does not have much at the moment. Gets a good hit there. Fallschirm Jaegers are camouflaged there, very nice. These guys push down south. I think that also did do a heroic charge on this guy here.
If you finished your tea break, can we get on with the bloody war?
For now, the Okudu player does have 386 tickets versus 136. Volksener is pushing over here, engaging the intersection now.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Intersection does fall back entirely. We've got the Shroom Pioneers here on the VP.
Capture point. They're
Should
trying
we
to
double
take-
capture, potentially triple capture in favor of the Okudu player? Figures does fall back. Nothing much can do versus a King Tiger. British player needs another 6-pounder. But even then, I don't know what he can do. He needs a lot more stuff on the field to say the least. Firefly is good enough health. Does get a good ambush attack by 2 squads there. Rip apart that sapper in no time. Heroic charge on that intersection there. The Kenworth strikes the
Trying to take one of our points.
Firefly. Rolls a miss there, but let's destroy the heavy cover there. MG does go down. We have another Valiant Assault on the field. Got these guys falling back. King Tiger takes some hits there. The Kenworth gets a good shot there. Tubes firing. One more shot, and that Firefly goes down to the Kenworther. And with that, the British player has resigned. His Angrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to next replay. He probably does not know what to spend it on. He has not too much more manpower. Like I said, Panzer IV Stuka's Foods probably be a good call. There we go. And on to the replay that was submitted to me. Huh. I said it was a 3v3. Oh well. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Company Heroes 2 replay. This replay was submitted to me, but I can't remember who sent it in to me. It could be even just the third party entirely. On the south side as the blue Okudu player got Well Manager. Spawn as the red Soviet player got Topikil Powell. Well, I butchered that name well enough. How do you pronounce this type of L with a line through it? I know about crossing your T's, but I'm not sure about crossing your L's. Either way, we do have a Overwatch doctrine selected over here. The Soviet player could go for, it does go for the armored assault tactics, as I just highlighted it, which includes the IS-2. Ben Wallace has last seen that, and I cannot speak to right now. 2 squad conscripts on the field, just conscript opener looks like. No conscript upgrades here. If you have Volkswagens on the field. Third conscript squad now on the build queue. So other conscript squads are building sandbags. And the Kovac goes straight for the VP. Shun Pioneer is trying to catch that field point, but he's not on top of it at all. There we go. Shun Pioneers do not finish capturing the field point. Commanders easily get forced on back. Conscripts have captured that point. We do have the conscripts captured this point over here. Volkswingers advancing. Over here we do have the field point being captured on up as well. Conscripts do not build the sandbags. Volkswingers get inside this garrison, but it's not a great garrison to fight from. One window on per side. Sure, 2 guys can fire, maybe a 3 in the right angle, but still not a great garrison. Heavy cover is also better than garrison cover. It is pronounced like a W. I would not have known. So, but there's a W there, so how do you pronounce the Polish W then? If that's a W, then what's this W? Folks, it is straightforward. So it'll be a Paul E-L-E-W sound. Pawu. Pawi. New. Ooh. So Paul. So Pawu. Nah, that can't be right. I probably can't make my pronounce such words. I can't pronounce all syllables. I'm horrible speaking any other language than English, and even then I have trouble. Grew up with a bit of speech impediment, so my mouth can't manipulate in certain ways. Let's see. I may be wrong, but if it's in the name, is it profitable for Soviets and British to go for ambush squads if OKW doesn't have infrared STGs? Let's see. Possibly. It's all about engagements. Wait, what? Let's see. It would be commandos. Be the ambush squad for the Brits, which they can probably do quite well. Commandos are pretty strong. You just have to be careful when engaging other close range squads. Be careful around shooting pioneers. All about engagement angle. If you manage to shoot them behind, you can probably get some good damage in before they can respawn. The Soviets, their ambush squads, of course, would be the PTRS conscripts and partisans. Partisans are generally pretty fragile, so you probably want to avoid hitting assault squads, but against unupgraded grenadiers, as well as pioneers, they would do well enough. Pavel. Possibly? I have no idea at this point in time. Soviet Airborne Guards. Airborne Guards do have, of course, the triple DPs and PPSHs. Like I said before, it's all about the matchup, but first strike is always good. It's all flanking is, of course, generally very important, even for assault squads. But if you catch your opponent while they're still moving, you get a lot of free damage, because when you move around, half your DPS is out of the window. Commandos are generally pretty good, and honestly, it feels like the Brens are nice for them, but they're not too particularly needed as well. Against OK, so it was also versus OKW. Gotta be careful against, like I said, Shun Pioneers. So, but against the Eagle Tree, against Volksgrenadiers, it can do quite well. Polish makers, you do gotta be a bit issue. Just the The ambush squads, of course, are close range squads, and that is, of course, can get in double-edged sword territory. But you can be pretty reliable with the ambush capability.
Ready for action.
Conscripts moving around. Kuvagan set on up over here. Conscripts are advancing. Shun Pioneers falling back. They will need to put away the Minesweeper. Black half-track now being deployed in the field.
Commander abilities ready.
Volksgrenadiers do take a bit of damage. Incendiary grenade thrown. And he's not responding, so taking a lot of damage there.
Half-track has been assigned to our forces.
Conscripts do fall back. They probably won't be wiped on out. Kuvagan push way forward. Still need to put away the Minesweeper. He's finding a lot of metal, but those are informal bullets, not mines. Kuvagan pursuing these guys here, but got more fresher squad of conscripts here. Got an M5 half-track being upgraded quad half-track as well, which will rip apart the Kuvagan. Does find that landmine there, very good. And you can put away the Minesweeper right now. It will linger around quite a bit. You don't need the Minesweeper out to sweep landmines.
Supply sector under attack.
Oh yeah, a lot of these maps are just filled with tractors and wells. Tractor next to the giant crane. Quad half-track. Did this landmine get cleaned on up? No, it looks like a landmine did not get cleaned on up there. So gotta be very careful. Kuvagan may go down. Flak half-track gets a nice burst there. Both got decent amount of damage there, but of course Flak half-track can't pursue. If it tries pursuing, then the quad half-track is simply engage and able to shoot while moving. We do have a squad of Jaeger infantry. Yep, we got a pair of tractors here. I also got some destroyed cars there and a truck. Nope, destroying the sandbags there. Yeah, have you ever really looked up maps? They actually make no sense the more you look at them sometimes. Like having two wells nearly next to each other is not exactly common in a village or hamlet. We do now have a flare mine being plotted there. Very nice. A very effective asset. Flamethrowers immolating the garrison. Gets on out of there. Black half-track sitting on up. Flame engineers making inside the garrison. Conscript firing away. Does find the Shun Pioneers who are in heavy cover but suppressed. Volks engineers pretty forward. The Canada Warfare trying to respond to the quad half-track. Flak half-track trying to hit that flamer engineer. Will get suppressed and potentially pinned very quickly and possibly wiped down out. This gun does roll a miss. And the combatants are falling back.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Volks engineers take a bit of damage. Of course, we do have a drop flamethrower there, so the combatants did go down. Conscript should pick that thing up. We have another combat engineer. Kenilworth connects on the quad half-track. Does man escape on out there. Pick up the flamethrower and go. Don't let the Shun Pioneers pick it up. Wait, Jaeger infantry cannot pick it up.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
I have no idea how effective a flamethrower is for Jaeger infantry. Probably not very. Does not synergize well.
We have an isolated sector. Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Just relax. It's just for other view and some utility. I think something came in a little bit broken there. Molotov thrown. Conscripts falling back. Minesweeper here. Schumpiner picks up themselves up of the flamethrower. Very nice. Why the Jägerlein Street can't pick it up? Probably they're limited one slot item, so the scope rifle squad, probably the scope rifle itself upgrade consumes that slot. But then again, I thought the Jägerlein Infantry can still pick up Brens and all that stuff, so I'm not really sure why it can't pick up a flamethrower. Doesn't. Yeah, I'm not sure, because I think, yeah, Jägerlein Infantry can still pick up a Bren or a Bar, right? It may be coded where it's just one of the weapons it can't pick up. And the snipe effect is tailored to the G43 weapon itself. So it's not like the flamethrower could just snipe, get the snipe effect. Does the sniper crit. Beta repairs going.
Engineers have secured the sector.
Quad half track Veterancy 2, nearly Veterancy 3, now is fully repaired. Rear Panzer quarters has been built, just needs Panzer authorization to be authorized. He has, after that, 70 fuel remaining, so healthy amount of fuel. The Soviet player has his Tier 3 built, no Tier 4, so he's a bit farther away from a T-34, but probably closer to a T-34 than his opponent is to a Panzer 4. Quad half track firing away. Do got a booby trap here. Jägerlein Infantry engaging. There's also demolition charge behind that one garrison. Can't work straightforward. My friend refuses to make double M1919 Air Jaegers with scope. That would be pretty hard to get double M1919 even available, honestly. Oh, rolls a miss there. Molotov thrown. Volksgrenadiers and Jägerlein Infantry gains good damage on the conscripts. Quad half track falling back, full health the moment. Tier 4 is now being built, so he's about 40 fuel away from a T-34 76. The Soviet, or the Ukrainian player, is 40 fuel away from a Panzer 4. Finds that flare mine, and the conscript squad falling back away from the Oberstdorf. They can be upgraded to LMG 34, which they are now. Quad half track heading down south. We do have a MG firing away. Oberstdorf squad straight forward. But I'm in the front seat. I called shotgun. Conscripts are building sandbags to the VP, catching up this one here. Now the squad that's in pain is this squad. See how little health it has? Volkswagen is heading up north. We do have the 251 half track full health. Emergency 1. Folks over here, quad half track, peppers them up a little bit there. Demolition charge, so if he wants to delete a unit there, it will be deleted. Jägerlein Infantry fire away with some good heavy cover there. Conscript squad falling back. This guy also gets out of heavy cover, but does not get suppressed. Sandbags have plenty of health for the moment. Is he forced to fire on the ground there? Okay, now it's starting to hit a bit more hits there. Does get suppressed there. Takes a good amount of damage. Do now the Schumpeiter's pretty forward. Taking quite a bit, or the Volksgrenadiers. Getting hit pretty hard there. Conscript squad falling back. This squad needs to start falling back as well. Quad half check push C3. It needs to fall back before it gets ripped apart. Panzer 4 are now on the build queue. Left 18 can now be summoned.
Ready for duty. Mission accomplished.
And they'll see he's using a flare trap there. Very nice. It's free, just takes a micro in time. It does no damage, just provides decent spotting. Black Hat Truck does take a pen there. Another Zisk on the build queue, very nice. So the player is not eyeing for T-3476, he may be eyeing for T-3485. Finds the flare mine. Vikenovor gets a good hit there. Light artillery barrage from Zisk gun. No hits, no more additional hits there. Hands 434 does not work with the conscript squad while this guy's falling back, not sitting on up. Too many guys here. Double conscript advancing. Oh! Booby trap got destroyed. It may have been disarmed. No! There's a pile of dead guys there. See, what type of weapon is that there? That looks like Car 98. I think he lost a Volksgrenadier squad, right? Did he have 2 Jägerline trees? Did he have 2 Volk? No, the Obsatz squad. That what went down. It somehow didn't destroy the garrison.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Su-85 on the build queue now. Panzer 4 engaging. The Soviet flare mine, yes. The flare booby trap does not. From the OKW player. The flare mine does take out one, is basically guaranteed to kill off one guy. Conscripts do go down. The flare trap from the OKW does not do any damage. It is purely an alert tool, because originally the ability was it was free flare traps on your entire side of the map on all your points, given enough time. Then it was nerfed down where it was a manual deployment, free deployment. Both cases did no damage. Oh, over here do you have the Volksgrenadiers take a bit of damage there. Those is going to force fire the ground rolls a miss. Good try. Soviet mortar on the build queue. The Soviet mortar is a nice asset, but he's only fighting against a single MG and Vikenovor. Though the flare ability is still very useful. It is a little bit questionable at this moment in time, but not a bad item. I don't have too many munitions for the flare ability, so I'm not so sure exactly why he's going for it. Rolls a miss there. Hands 4, push away forward. Force on the ground there, does get a pen. Up north, MG34 here, suppress down the conscripts. Obsatz and straight forward. Do we have these conscripts over on the way forward, trying to get a Molotov onto the MG. Does get suppressed, get a bundle grenade in return. Hands forward, prioritized fire turned on, does get hit there on the quad half check. Quad half check overdrives.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Force on the ground there, does get a pen there with the Zisk gun. Vikenovor or whatever rolls a bounce there. Does press the conscript squad down. Champagne's pushing forward. Vicano for sitting on up. Does roll a miss there. I heard another flare mine. This one finds a flare mine. Or maybe not. Booby traps been being laid.
Establish defensive line.
Conscripts heading down south. Jaeger infantry backing on off. Macy, yep, cast explosion. Double conscript squad there. Volkswagens can't really advance. They were in negative cover there. Looks like it's gonna be King Tiger mechanized HQ on the build queue. He has 42 fuel per minute, so he has actually a sizable fuel income. His opponent has 16. So it'll be another, what, 3 minutes of current rate to get out a King Tiger. I think manpower would be a bigger issue. In this case, he has a Panzer IV. He has a good enough amount of mixed assets in the field. He could go for a King Tiger. He has also air support.
Mobile command has been set. The static post is now in operation.
Jaeger infantry falling back. Panzer IV has his rear armor exposed. And the T-485 misses, so does the Panzer IV. Molotov's been thrown over here. Volkswagen falling on back. They do get immolated a little bit. And the conscript squad does get fully pinned. Rolls and miss there. As for looks like 3 pens and is down. Don't think he'll stand a third shot. Doubles this gun wouldn't be half bad. Mortar would be fine, but I don't think it's gonna be a Luff 18. Destroys the sandbags there, which also denies heavy cover to the conscripts, allowing them easily to suppress. Not to mention it wouldn't be a good idea for conscripts to stick around. There's a lot of firepower here. Another, what, a minute? Manpower is a bigger issue for right now for the King Tiger than the fuel. Black half track roaming around. Specific watch start again. Soviets didn't have doctrines, which he can rebuild the bunkers at the base. Oh. Ah. Nope, either way. Yeah, now the Volkswagen is straightforward. Howdy. Not a problem. I thought I saw in your description it was a 3v3, so maybe you sent me the wrong replay? Jaeger infantry and Obersassen push right forward. Conscripts does take a bit of damage there. Conscripts taking quite a bit of fire. This guy needs to start falling back. Jaeger infantry and Obersassen push right forward. Does take a pen down the Panzer IV, so it needs to start falling back. Do have a pen there. Quarter half track suppressing these forces. King Tiger now pulling the field. We got the air support now being summoned. Quad half track does back out of the sector, which means he has anti-air support. Very good. Oh, 1054, Volcano Warfare in tow, and King Tiger behind it. Go for the Pinto Mount now. SU-85 on the build queue. Understandable help with the King Tiger. King Tiger, Jaeger Infantry, Conscript Squad, Mega hit hard, but the tree does eat it. Cancels SU-85. Might be saving for the IS-2, but right now the 7 fuel income's a bit of a problem. Just needs 50 more fuel. If it was not 7 fuel income, probably when this cutoff sector gets recaptured, a bit more feasible. German Pioneers pushing forward, Jaeger Infantry interrupting the capture. Conscripts are close to death. Getting in heavy cover next to the flamethrower is not a good idea as well. But the flamethrower model's out of range. More conscripts pushing forward. I don't think a Panther to harass the base is a good idea. Or ever has been a good idea. Volkswagen is pushing forward. Molotov thrown does immolate the Volks. Quad hat track does take up the cannon over hit there. You need to keep that back. He needs the anti-air support. And conscripts are fully pinned. T-385 backing on off. This then comes back to the 20, so another 2 minutes worth of fuel to get out a IS-2. I think I've only ever went for Annihilation Victory once before. And it was a Sherman rush to opponent's base. Because I already hit it pretty hard from something. Oh yeah, it was back when the doctrinal artillery could be brought in opponent's bases. Back when that was not limited. I was able to rush somebody's base with Shermans.
Engineers are standing by.
Another squad of combat engineers. Let's see, IS-2's 21 population cap, so gotta be careful of the reinforcements. Good hits there from the Panzer IV. Here's the thing as well, it may not be good against Obersassen, then don't fight conscripts with Obersassens with your conscripts. Use tanks, Katyushas. Obersassens are anti-infantry tools. Don't send infantry to fight anti-infantry tools. Conscripts can hit pretty hard there. MG-34's angles like this. Panzer IV does force back the conscripts. Mortars engage the MG. T-485 does get a pen there. 2 pens there on the Panzer IV. Prioritized fire turned on. Rolls a miss there, sends a miss. Tiger firing away, got the MG decrewed. This gun shooting Zap tank. Usually destroying the base is never an option to begin with. Obersassen throws out frangible smoke, very nice. Sector assault is available. Quad half track still alive. This Lord is going to have a bit of trouble because we also got the flak half track as well as the sheer panzer quarters. IS-2 here. Not a bit of DP just yet, but keeping missions high enough for the Stormvic is not a bad idea. Once he gets enough, let's see, 60 plus 180, so 240, then he can guy for the Dishka. good pen there onto the quad aft track. This gun does at the King Tiger. Oh, got the capture ability comp being activated. Very nice. Panzer IV advancing over here. We'll find some conscripts. Right now, we've got to capture and fade the Soviet player and the VPs, but the Soviet player is behind the VPs. We'll decapture the fuel sector. Opening player has quite a bit of fuel stockpiled up, with not too, there's some manpower, nothing too crazy. Not a lot of spare population space though, so he has to be very limited when he gets deployed on the field. He sees the IS-2. He has a King Tiger, Vickenwerfer, and Panzer, so maybe going for another Vickenwerfer to help deal with the IS-2 is a possibility. I don't know if anything in the Mechanized HQ... Best assets is Stukes Foods, which he actually does have enough population space for. Yep, if he really wants a perfectly rounded composition, Stukes Foods. He is going for a Vickenwerfer. Stukes Foods would be very useful against the Zis guns. And when there's a second Vickenwerfer in the field, the Soviet player could either Katusha. Oh, maybe not. He's at a max out population. In fact, he is well over population cap. So this two-man don't reinforce this two-man conscript squad. And for the Engineers. Has certain squads not be fully reinforced. He has vehicle crew repairs as alternative. Not a great alternative, but an alternative for repairs. B-485 takes some hits there, now versus 2 does fall back there. IS-2 engaging, gets a pen there, knocks out the Panzer IV. A couple pens on the IS-2 thanks to the Vickenwerfer. Conscripts falling back. Nice splasher there in the Volks.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Free passive healing there for a brief moment. Soviet mortar is actually effectiveness 3, so it's done quite well. 11 kills. The Soviet mortar is very accurate. It's a nice mortar. It's probably one of the best non-doctrinal mortars in the game, if not the best. Wehrmacht mortar has firepower. Soviet mortar has accuracy, and the US mortar, I could have sworn that was going to be a full wipe there when they're stacked over the door. And also the structure's low enough health. I thought it was also going to destroy the structure as well. I thought he was going to die there or die by collapse. I didn't think he was going to live with that shot. He was not camouflaged there, so he gets nailed by the IS-2. I'm so used to saying ISU-152. IS-2. Good shot there. And they're on the Stalin. It bounces there. The IS-2's taking some hits. King Tiger is not full health, but healthy enough. IS-2 needs to start falling back. Oh, why did that tree? I love the ragdoll physics. All of a sudden, tree goes space. It went to space before Polska. We do now have the IS-2 getting repaired and up by 3 comm engineers. You may want to go for this here to help out a little bit of repairs. You're way down south. Capture the sectors here. Oops, trying to secure the point. Commentators at this rate may need to fall back. Now has a fuel point, though. Could player has plenty of fuel, so he's probably not going to have any fuel issues in the game. If he does, then there's been quite a bit of death. Garrison got so close to being destroyed there, but somehow the IS-2 can't hit the broadside of a barn, or a building in this case. trying to go some good crushes there. Get a couple crushes. Forces him back. The Ukrainian player does have, of course, more population now since he did lose the Panzer IV. So, could I have another Panzer IV? Against the IS-2 and P-485, there's actually argument made for a Panther. Does get a pen there. But against double Zis gun, I also like to point out the Zis or the Sugursafus. So, there's a lot of good things you could go for. Does have sector assaults as well. It decides not to push forward to interrupt the capture. So it's still faced the wrong way. Oh yeah, didn't the Soviet tanks back World War II in order to help with like the preserve the gun, so the elevation mechanism so it doesn't get damaged? They put their travel hooks is by rotating the turret all the way around and rest on top of the back of the tank. Long story short, same way how you have to store bows and arrows and crossbows undrawn, a lot of tanks in World War II, and a lot of vehicles, since the barrel's heavy, probably the same way in real life with all more modern tanks, you have to figure out a way how to rest the tank without stressing parts, like gears, like having magazines unloaded to unstress the gears. The Stugs had a travel hook, so there's like a mount so that barrel rests. That's why a lot of German tanks' barrels are pointed upwards in both in parades and in storage footage, because that's just a physical lock there to preserve stress, or produce less stress while in storage. You have the IS-2 strafing around, hits the cannon first. The IS-2 needs to fall back. T-485 6 of damage, nothing to create the mode. Conscript squads could decrew the Beckenwerfer. Ooh, great shot there by the King Tiger. And looks like some of the Beckenwerfer's going down. And the Beckenwerfer goes down. They are friends now, right? But yeah, going back to the thing about storage of stuff, you can also tell that Hollywood does not know guns. They also don't know bows and arrows, because a lot of times their bows are not actually drawn. They're in the storage state, so their bow shooting on the wrong side of the bow. Because you have to twist the bow limbs the other way and then put the drawstring on. Conscripts take a bit of damage there. Yep, he's doing very well. IS-2 straight forward, double Kenworth there, so T-485 may be going down soon. IS-2 and King Tiger are tingling with each other. We do have another sector assault there. He has plenty of munitions for another one. Just needs an off cooldown. Lane one here could be triggered by the strafing run. Aircraft gets shot down, and another one gets shot down by the quad half track. Maybe we can spot the quad half tracks right here at this point. Oh, he has turned on the prioritized aircraft mode, which actually I think does actually increase the range of the anti-air mode. I know that if you turn this on for the M15, it will allow the M15 to get full 360. Ooh. There's an annihilated squad. There goes a combat engineer. The M15 also grants the M15 the ability to fire in full 360 as well, making it far more reliable shooting aircraft. Shum Pioneers may go down. Nope. The Eagle Infantry engaging the conscripts.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Well done, comrade. Waiting for your command. Ours.
Do now have a Panther deployed in the field. Good amount of anti-tank. This guy has been upgraded. sandbags have been built. Conscripts behind some good heavy cover. Opens lots some way forward. IS-2 advancing. Rolls a miss there. Since he's Veteran C1, he does have access to fragmentation shell ability. He's almost Veteran C2. Improves the weapon range of the IS-2. A lot of Molotov. That squad get annihilated by a bundle grenade. A lot of people throwing munitions at each other, quite literally. After all, the grenade is the second deadliest weapon in human history. The first deadliest weapon in human history is the spear. And generally all pole arms, if you the more broader term. Jaeger infantry falling on back. Gets a good pen there. Shroom Pioneer gets splashed a little bit there as well. Panther advancing. IS-2 start falling back. Zis gun setting on up to shoot Zap tank. Does get a nice crit there. Won't be able to Panther at the angle. Conscripts could pick up the Panther strike though. Looks like Shroom Pioneer may have been wiped out. Prepare Pioneers there. Panther falling back. IS-2 in pursuit is Veteran C2. Has increased range. Will help out engaging. Notice the Conscript squad does get pinned down. And we've got a Lord now being summoned by the Soviet player. All track still alive, but on the other side of the map may have trouble hitting some of these aircraft until they get the Lord phase. We also got the Sector Assault forward in the field. There's Quad Track may have trouble hitting that as well. Panther goes down, very nice. It was also the white outline there, so it actually may have been abandoned. Aircraft 1 shot down. Well, in the aircraft. There's a lot of aircraft flying about. Well, I guess you also include hand bombs. Back, oh, there goes the flag cap track, very nice. Because after all, thrown explosives has been around for well over a millennia. After all, imagine early grenades back when formations were just lines of people. Not to mention knights. Oop, good shot there. During knights times, you have big melees. Ooh, was that the fragmentation shell? No, it was not. The Okuda player has plenty of fuel to summon more vehicles. Manpower is a bit another power of the problem though. He sells all the structures up, so he has his pick. I mean, early hand grenades would probably use some sort of form of black powder. Black powder is not too terribly hard to make. You need saltpeter, charcoal, and sulfur. And depending which country you're in, that might be illegal for me to say or to listen. As most European countries, or most countries in the world, don't have freedom of speech. Only the United States have true freedom of speech. Ooh, another wipe there. This IS-2 is annihilating, but it is pretty wounded. Double pen there. Good pen there. Volkswagens to take a bit of damage. P485 looks like it's on the build queue, but not enough room for it. He did lose some conscripts, but that could allow him to losing conscripts will allow him to build more vehicles. He could try throwing away his mortar. At this point in time, the mortar's not that useful. So maybe discarding the mortar, free up some population space for some more armor wouldn't be half bad. Maxim still be useful. Zis guns would be useful. At least throwing with the mortar. Right now it's at 5 men. How much population does a mortar take? 6. So that would free up 5 population, which will put him at 89. Yeah, it's not enough for T485. Couple conscript models to go along with that, and boom, he has another tank. In the US, it's still illegal to go full theater and yell fire. Actually, no. It is not illegal to yell fire in the theater when there's a fire. It is actually not illegal to yell in the theater fire even when there's no fire. You just be held liable for all damage, pain, and injury that may result into it. With this much armor in the field with another tank, no, 2 engineers is needed. Even with the vehicle crew repair, you still want the munitions for this thermal fix. Good shot there. We have Prada's fire turned on. T-45 rolls a bounce. Got a rear armor hit there. More rear armor hits on the Panther. Zis gun rotating around. The other Zis gun is on the side of the map trying to respond. Stun grenade onto the Zis gun. King Tiger has some health there. Armor's falling back. Take a beating, but with their high efficiency, they have a bit more mobility. Panther's not going to be effective enough to deal with that stuff. And you have now another Sturmovik being summoned, which is not very good anti-armor. But at least will help suppress if they don't even target armor. At least we'll be able to keep infantry hit in the engagement though. And these squads are going to fall back. True, some munitions caches wouldn't be half bad. Actuality, he could build a second tier 4 to rapidly rebuild stuff, and he loses everything. Aircraft. There's been one of the few times where build another tech structure is actually a stupid idea, but possibly useful. But yeah, munitions caches probably wouldn't be half bad. True, micro is demanding, of course. For me, how I usually play Company Heroes 2, I usually have all my engineers on one control group. So when it comes to late game, I just simply do that, and then right-click, repair, hold shift, right-click, and just queue them all up. I don't know if I'm the only one who control groups all the engineers. Generally what I do is I have 2 control groups I primarily use for combat, like infantry 1, and then vehicles at number 2. And this way, when the armor's moving forward, I can simply select them all, do attack, move forward, then micro individually as needed. And usually artillery in 4, so I can hit all the mortars here. Since the usually I'm focusing on one target at a time, maybe on 1-2 mortars on the field. I could just simply do this and barrage. I only use hotkeys on vehicles and weapon crews. Yeah, nice thing about having your infantry on a hotkey is you can hit the Q there, hit the reinforce button while the combat's going, so you know it's like, oh yeah, that unit's probably retreated back. I can pull it up, reinforce, and then focus microing, and then when I'm actually time to moving forward, like I see for a glance up here, that's full health. Alright, send you over here without any look at base. That's why with this doctrine it's important to have the use abilities like habits. Yeah. For me it's different. Weapon crews, I actually don't usually have them on a hotkey myself. For me, I try not to go past control group 5. Good pens there. And granted, I do also play 3v3s. It's different than other game of 1v1s, 2v2s, and 4v4s. Good hits there. Conscripts need to fall back. They do. They still make it wiped on out. They do. Which frees some population for the T-485. No, it does not. Panther falling back. King Tiger took some hits there. Panther takes some hits. With more fresh Volks getting hit. It may be better just go for fresh Jaeger light infantry. Another Schumpine in the field because he does need the repairs. In this case, when vehicles come back, activating repair gets other tasks. Yeah. Everybody has their own little way of micro, to say the least. For me, when it comes to this later game, infantry is primarily meant for, not for fighting, but for capturing. My focus on microing vehicles, and I just say, oh, here's my last remaining infantry squad. Go on the map, hold shift, and just right click and capture up everything. Oh, they found combat, they're not going to win. Just hit the retreat button, because they're not meant for combat, they're meant for capturing at that point in time. What units is my primary focus? What units are no longer my primary focus? Oh, barrel explodes.
Conscripts here.
The enemy has 75 points remaining. You appear suited for command.
Yeah, in the early game, I have control groups 1 and 2 meant for infantry, but then eventually I start turning, when fight starts going on, just control group 1 all infantry for a bit of reinforcing. And I also could have just hit, like, hit 1, see the line of infantry here. Probably should do that with the, here. Like, oh, hit control group. Oh, you're wounded. Double click here to quickly go over there. Because I'm more likely to have my mouse down here than up here. More likely down here doing abilities. King Tiger push forward. Let's take a pen there. King Tigers have veteran C4. IS2 does take a pen there. Panther gets veteran C1, sends a bounce, sends another bounce there. Volkswagen is getting hit. Okay, declares on 60 tickets. Conscripts took severe damage there. And, now other T-3485. There goes the last squad of conscripts. At this point in time, this much arm in the field. Combat engineers for repairing, capturing. You don't need more conscripts anymore. Katusha wouldn't be possibly Katusha just start nuking individual infantry squads. T4 or right now having trouble. Another combat engineer, 7 spare population, combat engineer. Gate repairs, sold micros and vehicles. Engineers for repairing and capturing.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
While I have the T-3485s work together in one control group and an IS-2 in its own control group. T-3485s focus on flanking, IS-2 start punching. Lag on the build queue. Flare here from the Soviet mortar, a very handy ability. That's the Left 18, same as use the radio intercept actually only has the Wehrmacht commander audio lines available for radio intercept, has no OPW lines there. So that is interchangeable with the Left 18 and lag. Good shots there. I do have another IL-2 being summoned. The veteran C5 Shroom Pioneers did go down. IS-2 or King Tiger takes some damage there. T-45 straight forward. Both on prioritized fire. IS-2 push right forward, gets a pen there. Wounded T-45 falling back. And start falling back. Volkswagen is falling back there. 23 tickets. In this case, when vehicles have come back, activating repair gets other tasks. What about a single? Let's see. T-70 can match the vision, use plane ability. Could be a good spotter for loiters, but then again, the Soviet loiters are a bit more anti-infantry than anti-vehicle. And what about a single penal battalion earlier? SVT crew, anti-tank. I think penal AT rifles are not great. Penals are good anti-infantry. I don't like the anti-vehicle. By the way, this Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started on the next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. I'm just going to go ahead and take time to restart the game. Restart the game, clear out the VRAM cache. And it's booting back up, use the restroom. And while this is loading back up, I do need I'm going to use the restroom. Let me know if you guys want to see a 1v1 or a 2v2. Probably be my last replay for the night.
Sega.
My apologies, I am back. Let's see. Have a good evening. Let's see. Had 2 games and a third of it, 285. He was also at Popcast, that's why he had so much spare manpower and fuel. Let's finish off the day with a 2v2. Let's see, the U start in 2 minutes, so let's not do U. We haven't done US or Wehrmacht today. Let's see. The more you go down, less likely the replays will be good. But hopefully this one will be fine enough. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Company Heroes 2 replay. Spawn on the south side is the blue USF, we got Lumberjack. Spawn as the British ally, we got Fish Sticks. Spawn north side as the magenta austere player, we got Boogeyman. And spawn as red OKW player, we have Castillon. Let's see now, got a couple of dodges selected, we got the Royal Engineers, as well as the Recon Support Company. Over here we do have the Elite Armor Doctrine. This map is actually paused for the Sturm Tiger since it tended to be a bit of a brawl at the center point there. Also Jagdpanzers, that's the term I'm looking for. He's also a pretty good unit on this map, which will heat rounds. Excuse me, IR Pathfinders now deployed in the field. Volksgrenadiers on the build queue. Rifle Squad, IR Pathfinders on the field. Over here looks like got MG42 Grens, standard build opener here. For the OKW player, just got Volks, not uncommon either. 50-50 chance seems like for Kuberwagen. IR Pathfinders here, rear echelons here, which are not so rear. Grenadiers there. We do have the M42 set up right there. Weird spot, but it will be successful shooting rear echelons. The Volkswagen is getting hit by the Vickers, and yep, soft retreats on back, full retreats that got here. Let's see, this Pathfinder is cooler than the airborne Pathfinders. This one has one less scope rifle, so a little less effective in combat. However, you can bring in dummy decoy barrages and a full barrage themselves, so they can call in artillery. So they can bring in some heavy ordnance, and this artillery does drop pretty quickly. And this one does also cause vehicle crits, if I remember correctly. It's also 10 more manpower more expensive. And ironically, with all the extra abilities, it's far more balanced than the other Pathfinders, since Barfinders are still a bit of a plague in the game. The Pathfinder's scope rifle, rather than critting at 70, if it hits a unit regular infantry, when they hit a unit that has 75% health or less, it will instantly kill that model with that scope rifle shot. In this case, the scope Garens do at a 40% rather than 75%, but the regular Pathfinder squad usually has 2 of them, while the IR Pathfinder only has 1. Yeah, it does give you access to Greyhounds, so you can get alternative to the Stewart by going Captain, which is nice. Airdrop Combat Group does give you also a Pack Howitzer, which is a cheap way to deploy one out, as was getting Paratrooper Squad. And you got the very powerful Cluster Munition ability, which drops pretty quickly. Pretty good anti-infantry. Yeah, the barrage is far more powerful than the major one. The major one drops like 4 shells and layer on 6 of Veteran C2. This one is more of an actual barrage, more closer to the time on target barrage from infantry. Rifle Squad does inside the garrison, 4 windows firing away, but they're getting hit by a lot of guys. Does tag the sniper a little bit there. MG42 hitting, 221 as well. Rifle Squad will need to get out of there relatively shortly. Intersections pushing up the hill. We got the flamethrower upgrade on the sapper.
HMG squad ready for action.
Yep, the carbines that the rest of the squad has is equal to the paratrooper carbines. So instead of having 2, you do get 3 of them. And the paratrooper carbine, which is also, well, it was the same the Rangers had, is slightly better than the Garen, but only slightly. Paratroopers carbines are good because it's a 6-man squad, as opposed to a 5-man rifleman squad with ever so slightly better performance. Double officer? I suppose they because this will give you access to a Stewart alternative and the Pack Howitzer. So it does complement double officer play. You are not wrong about that. Though I do have extreme bias towards Pack Howitzers. Pack Howitzers are really good. So I tend to go for Captain myself. Because Captain, you get Pack Howitzers and AT guns. Does get a nice squad wipe there. Make another squad wipe here as well. There's a lot of fire. Yep, gets annihilated there. The Oakland player lost 2 Volksgrenadiers. Oh, S-mines over here. Grenadiers engaging 221 as well. Pathfinders do capture the fuel sector. 50 cal set on up. Grenadiers take a bit of damage. Vickers or MG34 gain some good suppression here. However, can hit by the Vickers with the take aim ability, which does increases range, but both are in range each other either way. Yeah, that's roughly when I sort of stopped playing Cup Heroes 2 myself, around 2019-ish. The last patch of the game, I just got burnt out, and I was not a big fan of the final patch of the game. Still mod occasionally, though. MP40s getting some good damage on the rifle squad, and the close range, they have good DPS. 50 cal setting on up. 50 cal, of course, is limited in armor piercing. Oh, take aim. No, take aim ability is not active. Just getting hit pretty hard. And tagged by the 50 cal as well. The OKW player is just getting ripped apart, isn't he? This game is going pretty in favor of the Allies. However, the Brits, the US player is doing a good job as well. The British player just performing well above his weight. The OKW player is just disintegrating. And the Austrian player is doing well enough. Has nice good composition right now. Maybe a pack 4 would be nice. Right now they're having trouble with fuel. He has Battle Phase 1. And he has selected the doctrine, the Assault Support Doctrine. Well, you can always have some fun. There's at least, if you want a bit more laid back, there's always co-op versus AI if you ever just want to play a bit more relaxed. Yeah, I'm not sure how many cast Cup Heroes 2 anymore. Good chunk of them went to Cup Heroes 3, and some sort of just stopped casting altogether. Me, I had quite a bit of downtime, and then I got back into it. One thing that helps me out with casting is actually live streaming. If I'm not live streaming, it's difficult to stay motivated. If I have a set schedule, I'm pressured into casting, if that makes any sense. Hence why I can just keep on going. 50 cal firing away. Grenadier's bit of splash, suppression splash there, so likely, yeah, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Sniper push way forward. These guys falling back a little bit. Sniper causing some issues. Gershon squad, 2 carbines hitting him, so it will have a bit of trouble versus this sniper. Trying to hit the sniper, needs 40% health. Oh, do have a bar onto the Pathfinder. This is now in crit territory, gets picked off there.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Yeah, I gave Cup Heroes 3 a chance, and I couldn't get past the campaign. It was horrible. I played it only on launch, and that's it. I think I had like 4 hours in the game before I said no, not for me. It was a huge disappointment. And more so since I'm also a modder. The fact that I saw so many placeholder icons, and even now when I see videos of Cup Heroes 3, I still see placeholder icons, still Cup Heroes 2 icons. You can tell they're still placeholder because it's just completely different art styles, so it doesn't mesh with each other. Like, I can tolerate a lot of stuff, but if the gameplay's just not good, and if I'm a reminder, if I just see placeholder stuff, yeah, if it's not fun, it's not a good game. If I see placeholder stuff, it just grinds away at me of just how bad it is. Midway away from the map, so I'm guessing we're using some sort of range bug. Let's see. The game encourages non-standard standard art game style. Yep. Oh, sound design was a massive issue in Company Heroes 3, whereas like I could not tell anything apart. A lot of the units I couldn't even hear the gun, and the first campaign mission, like the beach landing one, it was like I can't hear any infantry unit, and that immediately gave me a bad taste in the mouth. While people can debate which sound design is better, is Company Heroes 1 or 2, but the thing is, you can distinctly hear these weapons. Like, and you can also easily tell them apart. You can tell, you sort of have to get, ooh, nice frag. You can tell that this unit is making this sound effect. You can tell this unit's making a different sound effect. So you can tell what's going on. In the other game, in Company Heroes 3, I couldn't even hear the riflemen firing. Hands grenade explode in the field. The paratroop's going to have trouble. Gamma bomb onto the IR Pathfinder. She does dodge it. Hands grenade is getting ripped apart. And now the Verrock players started losing stuff. Oof. Both X players disintegrating pretty badly. I don't know how long the range of the rifle grenade is in Company Heroes 3. But it should not be longer range than the range of the rifles, to say the least. To be frank, if you're just like, oh, rifle grenades can fire a long way, so can bolt-action rifles. M1 Garand has a maximum effective range and a point target of 1 kilometer. M4 Carbine, the modern M4 Carbine, 500 meters. No, Company Heroes 1's 3D, so maybe something's I'm not misreading something. Oh, Play 3. Sorry. The Play 3. Company Heroes 1. Yeah, Company Heroes 1 has a very good campaign. Company Heroes 2 has a very good multiplayer. And Company Heroes 3 just doesn't offer much. And what things it does offer, like the strategic map, that was so horrible. It tried to become Total War without any aspects of Total War. Like, limited custom armies.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
I'm talking about the bolt-action rifles themselves, like the M1 Garand. Their rifle, not the rifle grenade, but the rifle itself has a range of 1 kilometer. Can't say what the rifle grenade's ranges was historically, but the M203 has like a maximum range of like, what was it, 400 meters? It can go distance. But even if you take that logic, try to downscale it to the game, to Company Heroes 1, it means the rifle itself should have a better range than the rifle grenade. You're talking about the Company Heroes 3 itself. IR Pathfinder is here. Paratroop is falling back. Pack Howitzer here quickly overran. He may want to summon Decoy Barrage. I think this would be a good time to summon Decoy Barrage. Rifle Squad and Captain needs to fall back. Get a nice little flanking angle. IR Pathfinders get behind the light cover. Rotate the Pack Howitzer here. Our close range shot could annihilate formation. Speaking about getting annihilated. Sherman tank here. Rifle grenade peppers the IR Pathfinder. No high explosive rounds loaded up just yet, but its main gun without high explosive rounds is still decent for its infantry. Some Pioneers take some damage. SO, yeah, Company Heroes 1 factions do play very differently. And honestly, those two factions were very different, but they were a little bit too different, so they started making them more close to each other, and then they made them too close to each other. If you want to play them with that are much more different, play my mod. I made it so OKW can pack up and redeploy HQs. They're basically Cup Heroes 1 Brits, but they still support a normal playstyle. I made it so all of them have factional differences, but they still have core aspects like sandbags, wire, MGs, AT guns. But each one has drastic different teching paths, but they still support all the core basics of anti-infantry platform, anti-vehicle platform, guard and boots tech pattern. I try to take the good from Cup Heroes 1 and from 2 and improve upon it. Centaur backing on off. Officers take some hits there. Section falling back there. This guy's falling back. Sherman taking push forward. Also officer being forced back. Still armor piercing rounds loaded. Advance forward on the build queue. Pod needs a pack 40 out on the field. He does have the structure for it. Oh, something exploded. I am not sure what exploded. Another Sherman taking the build queue. Opens and force back the officer. Here artillery. Yep, those are British artillery. If Cup Heroes 3 was your first game, I can understand how it could be your favorite game. But veterans of both Cup Heroes 1 and 2 generally have a dislike for Cup Heroes 3. As far as I can tell. Does use the major there. Minor loss. Got it again on the retreat path. You may lose a grenadier. Sherman tank could probably take a shot against the flak half track. Panzer IV pushing forward. Got some bazookas here. And there goes the flak half track. Antique rifle grenade could be casted. Since it bounced there, everything's falling back, so no antique rifle grenade. Sherman tank remounts up. It has enough health to tangle with. He may lose the Panzer IV. He may trade with a Sherman tank, but those lose the Sherman tank. Those lose the Panzer IV. Those go down there. Bad trade for the Wehrmacht player. Not only this is more expensive, but also he doesn't have a replacement. I saw a bit of that. Those infantry units seem so generalist. It's no. The most generalist infantry unit in Company Heroes 2 is the Soviet Guards rifles, which I actually did address in my own mod. Made it a bit more specialized. But even then, a lot of blobs in Company Heroes 2 can easily be dealt with by lobbing high explosives. LMG's blob's still a bit of a problem, but lobbing high explosive mortars and bombars is always quite fun.
We're losing a capture point.
Good gammon bomb there.
Rear echelon squad ready for action.
Centaur deployed in the field. Do you have a 223 deployed in the field point? OKW player probably needs to get out a Jagdpanzer. British player has gone for an AVRE. That looks like a pen there. AVRE is probably going to shell. Oh, knocks out the Vacator for that's going to shell the shear transporters. Grenadiers open south and straight forward. Got a blob here. There's not a lag on the field, nor a mortar, so they don't have anti-blobbing tools at the moment. We have a fresh supply truck here. They have 4 fuel per minute. This is not in supply, because this is the cutoff sector. Probably would have better go for a fuel cache top up both these players since they have trouble with fuel. Don't go for a Storm Tiger. Don't think a Storm Tiger would be a good call. Landmine found here. Sherman and aviary have pushed way forward. This player has 160 fuel, not deploying on anything. Low manpower. Prefer blobbing in gaming. Makes me opinion that many players don't like playing smartly. Now, if you want to blob, go play Protoss in StarCraft 2. Too bad StarCraft 2's balancing is even more of a nightmare than it is for Company Heroes. Because apparently Protoss has always been balanced around gimmicks. In Company 2, you can only effectively blob with long-range infantry. I would say not so much Jaegers. Pathfinders, yes. And Brens. Jaeger infantry, not so much, since they don't have access to automatics. They're a little bit more difficult to long-range blob. Sherman tank went down up here, got a Stug.
Tank was just lost.
Bars can be a bit of a blobbing tool, but they can move and shoot as well, which can make it a bit more dangerous. Does take out the 223 Pack 40 getting encircled.
We have lost a pack gun.
And looks like red back to the game. That's a good unit. The problem is I should bring up Cup Heroes 2 because like what was it called, Death Wall for Protoss. Oh, and looks like yeah, it looks like the OKW player backed out of the game there, or not the OKW, purple backed out, the Austria player backed out of the game as well. Other game, I mean, Cup Heroes 2 is different where it's squad based, blobbing can be stopped, while other ones just designed around armies like Age of Empires and StarCraft 2, that's meant to just go mass and mass. There are some micro things as well, like in late game, if you're busy microing one thing, blobbing is somewhat inevitable. And there you go. They are now out of the game. But yeah, either way, that's Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. I mentioned beforehand, that is going to be my last replay for tonight. So everyone, thank you for watching.